Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. I keep saying 3 weeks. Picked a bad time to take 3 weeks off, I guess, haven't I? So, love and hugs, and I must apologise. I don't like, I guess you can call them little white lies. But I can't leave you guys out there hanging in such turmoil and chaos in the rest of the world. Okay, and just like to say, I dislike what Albanese's doing. Don't like using the word hate. I don't believe anyone should hate anyone. It's a big word. And if you use that word, make sure you use it properly, because it will rebound to you on your karma and tear you apart. It'll actually tear you and eat you up and eventually kill your soul. So be very careful. I don't use the word hate at all. I say dislike. I dislike what, as I said, Albanese's doing. He sat on that, he stood at that podium the other day with Penny Wong, and I use my instincts, and that's not good. I get bad vibes from him left, right and centre, and everyone I talk on the street, yeah, they don't like him either. And as I said, they do not like our Prime Minister at the moment in this present time. It wasn't time, was it? What did I say? Something else. Anyway, we'll use time for the moment, but time doesn't exist. So, and hopefully your Crown Prince will gallop on his horse back into Iran. I think that regime's just about had it, and on their last legs, and time for them, to pack their bags and go and leave the Iran people alone. That's what I mean. Iran, it's not the people, it's the actual leaders. Get rid of those leaders, and hopefully everything will fall back into place. Like my family. My family's been suppressed, oppressed and hidden. And it's not your fault, because it's the way you've been programmed. Last generations have been programmed. If you had been programmed and educated on who we were, well, there wouldn't be a problem today, would there? Let's face it. Anyway, I just want to talk to you about, well, this is mainly the car industry we had back in 2000, I think, 7 and 18. They squashed it all because of their stupidity. And this is what I say again, stupidity. You can't have stupid leaders, because they'll do stupid things. And in the long run, the people, local people, will pay a price for it. And it's usually the generations 2 or 3 down the track. The ones that cause all this chaos and bullshit, well, they die. And let's face it, they go in the afterlife, and they'll be dealt with in the afterlife. They give a shit how much money they've got. And if people soon and understand their spirituality, trust me, you won't be doing bad shit here, because it stays with you, and you go to the afterlife, you'll go to hell, and don't believe it doesn't exist. I know for a fact that it exists. It's a lot about me that I've done and taken journeys through the years, and you just have to put your trust in me. You've got to put your trust in someone. So you put your trust. I ask of you to put the trust in me, and we move places. And don't worry about treason, sedition, all that bullshit, because they don't even have a crown. I'll be the one doing that. I'll be the one under our crown and under God's crown. Anyway, this is what's happening now, ladies and gentlemen. Today I address an important chapter in our national history. This is the story of our history, how it's all panned out. And the poor, 14-year-olds, those 14-year-olds now are 26, 27, and they're going to be working the rest of their life. And you don't have to be blind to see what's going on in front of you. I don't even like using that terminology, because I have total sympathy for everyone. If you're born with everything working, your senses, everything, That's such a huge blessing, such a huge blessing. And my heart goes out to everyone that doesn't have their full senses, their hearing, sight, speech, limbs. I really, really care about those people and love them. I love them. And I love you guys too. I love everyone out there, and I resonate with everyone. And I feel for anyone out there, whether you're sleeping in your car, sleeping in the gutter, I'd really feel for you guys, because I love you guys. And if you look at it and you go back, technically you're our children. That's how it all works. That's how it all works. Anyway, we'll get back to this. As I said, I get a bit sidetracked sometimes. Okay, so the rise and decline of the Australian automotive industry. And now this industry was once a cornerstone of our economy. Boom, destroyed it. I'll just go back a little bit there. That's better. Supporting thousands of jobs and innovations. However, government policies, back to your government policies and global market pressures, have significantly impacted its viability. So they completely destroyed it, removing the tariffs, that Lima Agreement back in Whitlam's time, and Fraser. Fraser could have changed it. But that's what I'm saying. We're going back how many years now? Probably 30, nearly 50 years. So all these assholes have died. And they've left us holding the strings. Because it's not a rape anymore. The rape is all tied together. So these are all strings we've got to put back together in a rope so we can pull ourselves out of this shit. Let's begin with the Lima Agreement, which I just spoke about. Initiated under Prime Minister Bob Hawke. I'm not too sure. I think that Bob Hawke, he might have initiated in 1988, but it was definitely signed by Whitlam. And then Whitlam had a change of heart, wanted to change his mind and that, and the globalists wouldn't let him. And that is why, probably one of the reasons, but the main reason why he was sacked from the Governor-General, because the globalists wanted that in play, and as you can see now, why. Which aimed to enhance trade relations, but inadvertently exposed our manufacturers to increased competition from imports. So as soon as we took those tariffs off, you can import cars cheaper than what we can make them. Right? All our canneries started closing, all the refineries closed. Like, Australia should be a self-independent country like she once was. And we need to get back to this, the grassroots of everything. What our forefathers built up, and me, my spirit as a first fleeter, it boils. My blood boils on what these pricks in the last 50 years have done. They've actually destroyed everything, dismantled. Now we've got to put it all back together again. Hopefully it's still salvageable. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, so throughout the 1990s, then PM Paul Keating, don't like him either, implemented substantial tariff reductions. See, your tariff reductions, like I spoke about, slashing vehicle tariffs from over 57%. Well, what do you think's going to happen? This is where I'm saying stupidity. It is stupidity. Slashing 57% to around, then another 15% by 2000. So it would have been less profit for the car manufacturers here, right? So slowly destroying them. This transition allowed a flood of foreign vehicles into the market, complicating the landscape for local manufacturers. We had Ford, Holden, Toyota and Mitsubishi. We had 4 of them. We had 4 car manufacturers. They could be doing electric cars and so forth now. Possibilities would be endless. They took away all those possibilities. And the Prime Minister John Howard, who held office from 1996 to 2007, policies promoting free trade further intensified competition bullied by these globalists. I don't even know why they didn't stand up to the globalists and said, sit on this, we're going to do our own thing in Australia and be self-sufficient. We're going to have our own economy. And Paul Keaton floated that Australian dollar, and I'm telling you, it had a big effect. I was in the Navy at the time, and I went over to Singapore and I was bringing these, we used to call them rabbits, okay? So anything electrical equipment which was up to date with the latest technology, we'd buy it over in Singapore, bring it back on the Navy ships for about 1/10 of the price. Now, when he floated the Australian dollar, guess what? We went back to Singapore. Guess what we were paying for that electrical equipment? The same price as what Australia paid for it. So it was pointless. But that just gives you an example on how much it affected this country. Okay, free trade agreements with nations like the United States and Thailand. While beneficial in the short run, like I just said, in the short run, consumers, we benefited big time. It was like, oh, wow, you know, things are cheaper because we were importing it and taking the tariffs off, and our manufacturing went up in price because our labour costs couldn't keep up, and boom, destroyed all our manufacturing and production in Australia. And refineries and smelters, just keeps going on. Shipbuilders, everything was destroyed until now, because you know what's going to happen now, don't you? When you have shipping costs that go up, it's going to be dearer to import than what it is to export. Now, what we've got, like iron ore and stuff like that. And that's another topic, you know. I don't like what they're doing there because they're not paying any tax. And the man like me and you, like I said before, you got $10, they'll take half of that, leave you with $5. Can you buy bread and milk with $5? Don't think you can. Well, I know you can't. Free trading of all the litre of milk. You can buy a litre of milk and a loaf of bread, $2.50. Yeah, you maybe get away with that for under $5. Try the 3 litres. I think 3 litres of milk's $4.50 now. Anyway, it's not just going to go up and up and up if we don't do something about it. That's why the Crown Prince is coming back in Iran. Maybe Australia needs a prince of a family to call their family, your family, all our friends and family out there. Let's unite and have a natural born leader. And this is what I keep saying. I am there for you guys. This is why I'm putting this all out there. And I'm trying to say it, you know, in basic terms, and so everyone can understand it. Across the board. I want everyone across the board. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do, where you are. I'm here to help you. Okay? From my heart. Now, under Prime Minister John Howard, did we read this part? Who held office from 1996 to 2007. I think we did. Placed our local manufacturers at a disadvantage. Here we go. Free trade agreements with nations like the United States and Thailand, while beneficial in the short term, bad in the long term. It placed our local manufacturers and producers at a disadvantage and mercy to the globalists, elites, deep state, or whatever that name they wish to use. They create confusion and chaos, not just here, but all over the planet Earth. That's the term globalists. That's what they call globalists. But as I said, they come in much terminology, okay? In response to the global financial crisis in 2008, which was man-made again, Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, geez, didn't Kevin Rudd suck us all in? It was going to be a big thing in Australia. And he was a part of the globalists. Sucked us all in. And that's what I said, it's a web of deception and lies. Well, I just call it out for what it is. It's deception and bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. And I love that terminology. Got a bit of a cough here, sorry for that. Prime Minister Kevin Rudd announced a significant... Now, he put $6.2 billion assistance package aimed at revitalising, revisualising the automotive sector. Yet even the support could not stem the tide of decline. Bullshit. He injected 6.2 million. I think Ford at the time. Ford, I haven't got the details with me, but pretty sure with that we could have bought Ford out, and that could have been government controlled, and it could have been a nice little domino effect, buying the whole lot of them out, Mitsubishi, Holden, and Toyota. So we could have had our own companies here, government controlled, like part of Australia, and that would have kept all our jobs going. We would have in fact had an influx of jobs. Yet even this support cannot stem the tide of decline. Bullshit. I think 2009, Ford made $13 million profit. So as long as you're making a profit, even if it's $1 million profit, who cares? As long as you're making a profit and keeping all your production manufacturing here in Australia. This is well, you can see what's happened. It's not working. So if that's not working, we go back to what our original forefathers and ancestors set up for us today in this future. We're a part of the future. Tomorrow's the future. Okay? All this was set up for us guys. And these assholes are destroying it with their bullshit and globalist policies. Maybe they've been threatened. I don't know. But I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I want to get to the bottom of this shit. Because I'm a truth seeker and I'm here for you guys. Julie Gillard, another one I didn't like. During her tenure, vigorously promoted technological advancements to sustain the industry. Excuse me. And sustain the industry. Yet the changing marketplace made recovery elusive. So it was beyond control. It was beyond fixing at that stage. So we'd have to bring it all back and restructure everything, reform everything. All our systems here in Australia, including the Australian Electoral Commission, that's another one that needs to all be reformed. It's supposed to be independent and uncorruptible. Bullshit. Everything is bullshit. A web of lies and deception. Don't be fooled by it. This is where your spirituality comes into it, because you just see through it. It's like looking through looking at a picture and then the outside of a picture. It just start seeing through all this bullshit. This is what I'm here for you guys for, to bring you enlightenment and the truth. And then finally, under Tony Abbott. Remember Tony Abbott? 213. This is what I'm saying about 213. Seven, what's that? Nearly 12 years ago. It's more, isn't it? 213, 7 plus 5, so that's 13 years ago. Now, 13 years ago, all those 13-year-olds, they're now 26. And they're working their little asses off to try and fix all this bullshit. That's why they haven't got a house. Because they put up the house prices. Another one, supply. You got supply and demand. So they demanded bringing in all these immigrants, which is way above our GDP growth, and squash the supply. Right? They knew about this. That's why all these politicians, that's why they got 10, 20 houses, because they knew. They knew exactly what they were going to do. But these are the globalists doing it all over the world. So, yeah, they squash the demand for it goes up, right? And then they squash the supply. And that's why, bang, housing crisis, push up the interest rates, push out the average Joe Blow. He's lost his house, unfortunately. And then, right, okay, so Abbott, 213, we faced the grim reality of plant closures. Only took them from 2008 to 2013 to dismantle something that once was. It's bullshit. I don't even know how these pricks got away with it, I really don't. But they haven't now, because I'm here and you're here. Let's go after them. We'll go after them. With that crown, as I said, that crown. Go back to the original ways. Announcing its departure from local manufacturing, following by Ford and Toyota, this marked the end of an era, leading to the loss of over 40,000 jobs. Now, why would you purposely squash 40,000 jobs if you didn't want to create chaos and turmoil? It's purposely orchestrated across the industry. The decline of the automotive industry is not just a story of economic statistics and disasters and man-made and controlled chaos. It reflects the lives of Australians, families, communities, and the fabric of our society. Why? I want answers. As we look ahead, the future offers bad opportunities for all Australians. Now, we can create new opportunities, as I said before. We must embrace the rise of electric vehicles and sustainable manufacturing practices to not only create jobs, but also honour our commitment to the environment. But if we don't do shit now, say we create electric vehicles, say Mitsubishi came back and started doing electric things, Samsung might go in their electric vehicles. Tesla. All these come back and then we have electric vehicles. Now, who's to say in the future what we create today, 50 years down the track, all this happens again? We want this to never happen again. So what we need, I'll finish reading it first. Okay, create jobs. Let us work together to build a robust future for our manufacturing sector, focused on innovation and sustainability. I encourage each of you to support initiatives that promote local innovations and ensure we can once again take pride in Australian-made products. Thank you from my heart to you guys. And I'm just really pissed off and over all these lies of deception, web of deceptions, and saying it's going to be all right and good for us, and it's not. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. That's what I mean. People buying RVs now and living in RVs, but you haven't got the space. You haven't got the space to move around like a house and, paint walls and do whatever you want in your house. I mean, this is just a travesty of these globalists. And if these globalists have bullied our prime ministers and so forth, or threaten their families, whatever, I want to know. I want to get to the bottom of all this. And trust me, I will. One way to find out is just keep pushing and doing what I'm doing now. As I said, I've got the right tools now with YouTube, and if YouTube doesn't support me, well, guess what? I'll have my own private web page. As I said, I've become active now and very active, and there's no switch that's going to turn me off. Okay? So once I say I'm here for you guys, I'll put another quick message on today because I want to do a couple of cards. I just want to draw 3 cards, but this will be going to a little video movie, which I have access now to. That's another way of getting our points across of truthfulness. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.